Hello and good morning to wherever you are in the world. Good day, good afternoon. Thank you for being here for another episode of Coffee and Chat with Sue. And I hope you're having a good start to your day, or I hope your day is going well wherever you are. If you are here with me live, you can jump on and say hi. And I'm just going to get started this morning, as I usually do, with my oil of choice for this week. And this time it's Angelica root in English, Angelica in German. So I don't think you can, I'm not sure if you can see the name of that. No, in the light is not. Angelica. So it's the plant Angelica. Here in Europe, where I live in Austria, it grows wild in the fields. In the summer, are full of them. They're beautiful plants, beautiful, strong weeds that grow among the field flowers. They're really beautiful. It's a very tall plant, can grow to about 1.5 to 2 meters even, with a strong stem, and it's got a beautiful sort of umbrella-shaped green flower with little white sprinkly blossoms on top. It's a really pretty looking plant, a very sturdy, strong, quick growing plant. And the whole plant is used medicinally, but particularly the roots of the Angelica plant are highly prized for their qualities of being, so many qualities that they have as far as healing power goes. So this essential oil is also from the root of the plant. There are extracts from the seeds, as I said, and from other parts of the plants, but these are particularly from the root. And interestingly, my dogs love the actual dried herb as well. So the Angelica root dried and chopped into little, pieces. They love to chew on that and eat it as well. So really healthy. And yeah, I've got the essential oil. And I must be honest, when I first got this oil, it did not appeal to me at all. It was not a scent that I really was familiar with or that I enjoyed, but I certainly do love it now. It's one that's grown on me, and it's one that I use often. It's one that's offered to my dogs and to clients' dogs, very, very often chosen. It's a very common oil that's chosen by dogs. And I think because it's got it's got a wide range of properties that are helpful for all sorts of things, often chosen for arthritis and chronic pain, often chosen for things like digestive upsets that come from anxiety. So it's very calming, really, really great for chronic anxiety and all the things that, the stress symptoms that the body has if you have chronic anxiety. It's really good for, it's the scent itself. I didn't tell you about the scent. The scent is, it's quite sweet, almost pungent, and it's got an earthy, herby smell to it as well. You can smell the earth, you can smell the plant, that planty smell, herby plant smell. That's a very strong, potent. It's a very potent. I really took a deep breath in there. It's a really potent oil, but so really lovely to smell, really lovely to inhale and to bring into the body. It's really calming on the nervous system as well, on the spirit, on the mind, our busy minds, and when we need to calm and relax and center ourselves, ground ourselves. Any of the oils that come from roots of the plant are always very grounding and centering. So that's another great use for it. I'm just going to check my book here from, I love this book, from Nayana Morag. It's a lovely book, The Aromatic Dog. There's also one called The Aromatic Cat that she wrote. And I love her book. And she says she often uses it for fear or compulsive behavior, especially after one or more traumatic incidents in life. Older dogs who are emotionally hardened to chronic pain, or if dogs show no interest in any of the other oils, then she often uses Angelica, because, as I said, so many dogs choose this oil. So it's really must have benefits to them, otherwise they wouldn't be choosing it. Yeah, so other things, it's a immune stimulant, it's liver for liver dysfunction, it supports the liver, for lymphatic problems. Um, we said chronic anxiety, it's antifungal, it's antispasmodic, it's antibacterial, it's a digestive, a diuretic, expectorant, general tonic, and a neurotonic. So a highly prized oil, a highly um, useful oil in so many uses and ways, and definitely one to have in your kit. So angelica root, um, yeah, add that to your list if you haven't got that one. It's a really lovely one for people and dogs. Okay, so that's I'm just going to check on the Facebook group. All right, so that's with the essential oil today. Now I'm just going to go on to our topic, which is how we can support our dog's behavior change process. So, we're all basically here to help to support our dogs in looking at their behavior. Perhaps they're anxious, perhaps they're over aroused easily and easily triggered. They struggle in different environments. They struggle with social situations, with people and dogs, all of those things. And we are here on a journey to help to support them, to change that for them, to help them to be more balanced and centered and calm. And this is, so often when we are doing this, it's very natural for us to put the focus on the dog, to put the focus on the dog needs to change, the dog needs to, get better, the dog needs to be more calmer, the dog needs to stop doing this, the dog needs to stop doing that, and the dog must do this. We put a huge amount of responsibility on the dog itself in order to behave or in a way that we feel comfortable, in order to be what we want them to be, in order to be something that fits into our expectations or into the world's expectations of what that should look like. So it's huge. If you think about it from their perspective, we're putting a huge amount of responsibility on them, to change their behavior in order to fit in to our lives and into society's lives. And I think that's changing as we go through this journey. We learn more about our dogs. We learn that they're individuals, they're unique individuals with their own perspective and their own way of seeing things and dealing with the world because of of who they are, because of who they got to be up until this point in time, because of their past experiences, their genetics, their DNA, everything that makes them who they are. So today, I just want to give you some tips about how we can shift that responsibility onto ourselves. And not all of it. We don't have to take all of that responsibility, but certainly as their guardians, I believe we have the responsibility to take that on and to support them through their change process. We know that anyone who wants to change a certain behavior or wants to grow and transform and become somebody different, somebody better, we know what a long process that is. We know that it takes time, it takes patience, it takes understanding as we unravel those layers of learning and growing. So the dog has to do the same. The change has to come from the dog. The change has to come from inside. And so we can what we can do is to support that whole dog and their environment to make that change process easier for them. So I've just got a couple of my top tips that came to mind. The first one being know your dog. When you really understand your dog, so you get to know your individual dog, not dogs as a whole, but your individual. Who is your dog as an individual? What makes them tick? What makes them who they are? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? In what situations do they feel uncomfortable? In what situations make them really happy? The more we know them as individuals, the better we are in a better place to help them, and not just take on advice or general advice because that worked for that person, that worked for that dog, and so we do it. Get to know what your individual dog needs in order to support them. The second one is set up for success. So, for instance, you wouldn't take a little toddler down the sweetie aisle in the supermarket if they weren't allowed any sweets. You wouldn't slowly push your trolley down the sweetie aisle and say, no, you can't have that. And little one toddler says, I want that, I want that. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Because by the end of that aisle, you are likely to have a screaming little baby having a tantrum on the spot. And it's the same with our dogs. We mustn't expect them to behave differently if we put them in situations that they can't cope with, that's not comfortable for them, that they haven't learned to overcome yet or learned to build resilience for. So we shouldn't be putting them in situations that we shouldn't be putting them in. So please, remember that it's our responsibility to set up their environment for success. I know this is not always possible. I know there will always be circumstances that, where we can't avoid certain things for our dogs, but that's okay. That's part of resilience. It's part of growth. It's part of learning. We learn to adapt. We learn to come back to baseline afterwards. But it's really important that we understand that we do our best to set up for success in the first place. Number 3 is seeing them as perfect. Instead of seeing all the faults, we need to focus more on all the good things about them. If you were a person who was really trying to change and really trying to grow, you would want people to point out all the really good things in you. You would want the people to celebrate with you about your small little wins and everything you're doing right. We don't want people to be focusing on our, on our weaknesses or, pointing out that we didn't do something in a particular way. So do the same for your dog. Focus on the good things. Focus on what you love about them. Focus on what they are really great at. Focus on every little tiny win they make, every little baby step in the right direction. It's really going to help to grow their confidence and help from them, again, from the inside, to really start to blossom. So that's that one. Number 4 is surround yourself with people that you trust and that support you. Because if you're living in this beautiful little bubble with your dog and everything's going great, and you step outside that bubble and people are pointing fingers, people are telling you what to do, how to do it, where to go, that you're doing it all wrong, or judging your dog, you're going to be really knocked down. You're going to not feel supported, just in the way like we talked about in point number 3. So find people who are going to support you and your dog in the process. Find people who understand you and are ready to help you and to meet your dog where you are, you and your dog where you are. So find your tribe, find your people to support you. Be a good role model. And, you can also, we know through co-regulation, you've heard me talk about the concept of co-regulation and how this can, our emotions and feelings can then transfer to our dogs. They can feel that and change their mood as well. We know that when we're around a happy person who's confident and calm, we feel the same, and it's our dogs the same. It's that co-regulation. So we need to help to support them from that perspective. So we can work on ourselves. We can work on our own calm and safety and feeling great about ourselves, because that's going to transfer to our dogs as well. So another great way to support them. Yeah, so let me see what else was there. Yeah, remember your self-care. So it adds on to what I was saying now about you being that good role model. If you are not in a space yourself where you feel that you can give because you're feeling so depleted and down and stressed because you're giving so much of yourself to everybody else, you never have time for yourself, you don't look after your own needs, then you are not going to have the energy to be that good role model. You're not going to have you're not going to be in the mood to want to even, go on that walk or do that thing that you have to do with your dog, or, try to support them because you're just feeling so exhausted and depleted yourself. So put your own oxygen mask on first. That's always our number 1. Put your own oxygen mask on. Make sure that you are looking after yourself so that you can look after your dog and the rest of your family and everybody else better. But you take precedence, okay? So do the things that make you feel good, that meet your needs first. So that's about it for today. It was just some, some quick tips of how we can support our dogs, remembering that it is a process, it is a journey. We get to transform and change alongside with them. But certainly we need to be more mindful about putting too much responsibility on them and just standing back and supporting them and allowing them to grow their confidence, allowing them to change from the inside out, because that's going to be what's really long-term sustainable behavior change has to come from the dog, has to come from the inside, and just allowing them to be who they are, regardless of what they can be in the future or who they were in the past. Just enjoy being with them now. This is such a precious time we have together. So thank you very much for checking in. Thank you for listening. Please, always, your feedback is always welcome. Welcome to message me, welcome to email me. And I look forward to next week. And I will, if you're on my mailing list, I have some exciting news about workshops coming forward in the next month. Starting next month, which is May, is going to be a deep dive on the polyvagal theory, which is the science of connection and safety and co-regulation. So we're going to be talking about that and doing some really good exercises, some interactive exercises. And that's going to be next month in May. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Go out there, love your dogs, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.